the continuation to graphical user interface, we will see how exactly we can define the settings in CATIA. Settings related to the size of the planes or axis system, how exactly we can define the units, how we can reset the toolbars as well as the position of toolbars. Also, if we have to reset the software settings, which will cover all the settings related to softwares, then how we will be able to do that. First, let's see how exactly we can change the size of planes and axis system. So you can see currently the size of these three planes or the axis system will be available over here other than plane. So the size of this planes are too small as compared to the area we have. We have too large working area as compared to the size of plane. If I want this size of these planes to be changed, then I'll need to go for settings. The settings will be available in tools, options. This tools options will give me almost 95% of the settings related to CATIA, and again I will say related to each and every environment of CATIA. If I have to change the size of planes, then I will open tools, options. Now I have the options dialog box available. In that options dialog box, I will go for mechanical design, part design. You can see these are settings related to part design, assembly design. Then there will be some settings related to assembly design, sketcher. These are the settings related to sketcher. Like this, all those settings are actually categorized over here. We have to go for the settings for changing the size of planes or axis system. So that will be actually a general setting which I will find in infrastructure, and in this I will find in part infrastructure. So tools, options, infrastructure, part infrastructure. In that there are some general settings, then there are some display related settings. So in this display related settings, we have the axis system display size, that too in mm it is shown. If I want to change it, I will just increase the size of this from here. Let's say I'll make it around 40, 45 something, 47 I'll keep it, no issue. Similarly, in this part document settings, if by default you want the axis system to be created, like when you open a new file and instead of those three planes, if you want the axis system to be created, then you just have to check this, and next time whenever you will open any of the environment, by default axis system will be available for you. I will keep this as it is. Also, you can see when creating the part, this is the option we have. We were discussing earlier that display the new part dialog box. If you don't want the new part dialog box to be displayed, then you can uncheck this. So next time it will not show you the new part dialog box. For now, I have made changes related to the axis system setting and the size of that axis system. I'll press OK. Now you can see the size of planes has been changed. The same thing will be applicable on the axis system as well. I have also defined the setting for size of axis system, and when I want to open a new part interface, axis system should be visible to me. So for now I'll just close it and I will open a new part. First this will ask me whether I want to save this file or not. The processing may take some time. I'll go for a new part design. I'll keep everything as it is and I'll say OK. As I had defined, you can see now this axis system is visible to me, and these three planes are actually hidden, and axis system is added over here. If you want these planes to be shown, then you can right click and click over here, show hide. you will be able to see the planes as well. Actually, working with the axis system is a bit easy as compared to working with the planes, because you can actually operate with the origin. When you are working with the planes directly, access to origin is not available, but when you are working with the axis system, you have origin is available, which is selectable. You can use it as per your reference. Next comes the units. Whenever we work with the mechanical drawings, it is important for us to define the units first. This is our primary setting. So to define the units, again I will go for tools, options. This time I'll go for general settings in parameters and measure. So tools, options, general, parameter and measures, and in that I will go for units. Over here you can define the units for any magnitude. Let's say you want to define the units for length. By default unit is millimeter and this is the symbol. If you want to change it, you can change it from here. Say I'll make it meter. Again I want to change, I can change it to millimeter. Similarly, say for mass, I want to change it to grams, I'll change it. It will be automatically updated over here. Also, exponential notation value greater than and less than you can define here. Decimal places also you can define over here. How many decimal places you have to follow. When you appear for Dassault Systems certification exam, then this units and decimal places setting is must before appearing for the exam, because it is given as an instruction that you have to follow the specific unit system as well as the specific decimal places for your answers. So I have defined the required units as well as the decimal places. I'll keep it okay. Now next, whatever sketch, whatever feature, whatever model you will create, it will be created in mm. It will the length parameter will be mm, but when you will go for the calculation of its mass, then it will show you in the grams. Next setting is related to the toolbars. You can see I have floating toolbars available. Now during the work, sometimes it may happen that some of your toolbars are not showing all the tools. Some of the tool might be missing, or some of the toolbar is missing. It is not visible to you, or the toolbars which are defined are not in proper manner. So manually you can drag those toolbars and you can arrange it, but if required, then you can reset the position of all the toolbars as well as you can reset the content of all the toolbars. For that we will go for tools, customize. In this tools customize, I will find out the settings for the toolbars. So the customize window is available. In that window I will go for toolbars, and you can see all the toolbars are available over here. In any of the toolbar, I can anytime add any command or I can remove any command from the toolbars. Right now we don't have to do that. What I will do is I will just restore all contents. So it will again ask me whether you want to restore the content of all the toolbars or not. I'll say okay. Also I will restore the position of all the toolbars, so all the toolbars will go to their default position. Click on this and I'll say okay and close it. So you can see the toolbars are arranged as their default position. If you want, you can anytime drag any toolbar and arrange as per your own convenience. This restore positions and reset all content actually will help you in getting the hidden toolbar or clearing the caches in the toolbars. This was all about the primary settings we have to do before starting with the software. Then when you appear for the examination, it is also important for you to reset the software, because if you will not reset the software, then again it might create problem for you, because some other user might have defined some settings as per his or her convenience, and it may create problems or errors in your answer. So it is better to reset the software before using it. For that, I'll go for tools, options. As I told you, 95% of settings will be available in the options tab only. From here I can go for reset parameters value to default ones. I'll just click on this, then it will ask me what exactly you want to reset. So if you want to reset the settings for all tabs, here for this particular tab, for this particular workbench, all the options are available. You will say yes to that, whatever the selection you want to. Let's say if I want to reset the software, then I'll go for all tabs. I'll press yes to this and it will reset all the settings from the software. Even it will reset the license setting as well. Means if you have the licensed copy, then you will need to select the license as well again. Also, sometimes while working with the software, this may happen that you might go into the demo mode. When you work with the software, it might take you to the demo mode. For that also we have settings available that we will be covering when that demo mode will come into picture. That will be available over here, licensing. You will go for the general, in that you will go for licensing, and over here you can turn on the demo mode if you want. Demo mode will not allow you to save your file. Whatever work you are doing, you just have to close that. You will not be able to save your work. Also, there is server timed out settings available. If you want that the software will give you some alert, that will also be available. Also, you can see the list of licenses. So automotive body in white license, design migration license. So this is what the list of licenses are there. If you have any query related to the license, then you can go for tools, options, general in that licensing, and you can check it over here. This was all about your initial settings related to CATIA before starting with the CATIA. Now we have defined the initial settings, we have seen the user interface as well. From the next session we will be starting with the 2D workbench of CATIA, which is actually Sketcher. We will be creating the sketches which we have already created in some other tool or using paper, pen, etc. But this time we will be creating those sketches for converting it into 3D, for generation of 3D. So first 2-3 sessions will be related to the sketches only, how we can create it, how we can make it ready for being converted into 3D. Then we will be inspecting those sketches as well, and then we will be starting with the next environment, which is part design. That's it for today. Thank you.